Welcome to another edition of Wrestling IQ 101. Remember to subscribe to the page, leave a comment, leave a like. Also, you can follow us on Facebook and Twitter, Instagram at Wrestling IQ 101. All right, let's start the topics.
Like, share, comment, repeat.
Okay, so let's get started with the topics. Let's start off. We had a pay-per-view last night. WWE, they had their No Mercy pay-per-view last night. Brought to you by SmackDown Live. What'd you guys think of the pay-per-view last night?
Honestly, I thought it was kind of weak, and one of the matches got called off, the Becky Lynch match.
Yeah,
but to me personally, I thought there was only two good matches on the card, with the first one opening it, the title match, and then the other one being the Miz and Ziggler match. But I thought it was odd that they started it off with the triple threat match as well, instead of like closing it out with the title match.
Yeah.
But I mean, either way, those to me were really the only good matches on the card. And I don't know, what'd you think about the pay-per-view as a whole?
You know, I thought it was a really good pay-per-view. I thought the matches were good. The timing of the matches were good too. They kind of lost me, like Pat, with the main event being the first match.
Mm-hmm.
But that match ended up stealing the shows. I guess, you know, it was kind of hard to follow that one. A little disappointed that Ziggler and Miz weren't the main event. Just because that was a career and title match, I didn't see why Bray and Orton needed to be it. I thought that was okay too. I mean, it's not how I would have booked the card, but I didn't think anything wrong with the way the matches went. And the pre-show match I wasn't very keen on because I felt like I've seen different variations of that.
The same match.
Yeah, so...
Yeah.
And I thought Hawkins, the whole thing, where basically he said he's going to step into the ring, and then like he literally just walked into the ring.
Into the ring.
I thought that was great.
And but my thing is, why are you going to set up a promo for him to wrestle on SmackDown? Like, it should really be going on the other way around. And honestly, it's going to be him setting. There's going to be no payoff after like a 2-month build up for him to do nothing.
Yeah, maybe. I just thought...
Maybe. What is he going to do? He's going to end up being nothing. All this amount.
I don't know if you could say that about SmackDown, because Rhino... I didn't think they were going to do anything with Rhino.
Yeah.
And he's in the forefront of the tag team division right now. So maybe they learned their lesson about booking people, especially now that they have a really weak roster on both shows.
Yeah. So.
But sorry.
No, go ahead. It's fine.
But I thought I was more mad about that he didn't come on the pay-per-view, that he did the kickoff show.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Kurt Hawkins. But I gotta tell you, I thought it was hilarious. But before that, earlier in the day, they released his new entrance video and theme on YouTube.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, this really sucked. Like, his music is awful. His video is terrible.
Yeah.
So I was like, his old stuff is so much better. His old song and his old video package. And I'm like, well, I don't really like the face-to-fact character. When he came out last night, I thought that was great. I was like, it had like facts in the background playing, and he's like, I'm going to step into the ring, and that's all he did, and I thought that was the most hilarious thing for an reintroduction. And I thought that was perfect.
But like, he's still doing the same shtick that he had like 10 years ago.
No, not really.
He comes in with the cane.
Just the cane, but otherwise, he didn't really have a stick a couple of years ago. He didn't have a character before he
had
left.
the facts, he had the cane.
He didn't have the facts before he left.
He didn't have the facts. The facts.
No, yeah, that's new.
He didn't have. He's still doing the
all
facts.
he did was a party, like he was part of the party starters or something like that, and he didn't really have a character. They were just kind of lost.
And that's what I'm saying right now.
At least now he has something, you know.
And that's what I'm trying to say right
if anything,
now.
He's copying like Tyson Kidd.
Yeah.
Or Matt Hardy with the Mad Facts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like this idea. Now I didn't like it in the beginning, but it's growing on me.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, what is going to be the whole payoff? Like, what is he going to be doing? Like, for this whole build up, you know, you get what I'm saying there.
Yeah, I understand. I mean, we have to. I think we just have to, follow the story and just see where it goes. But I'm pretty sure, WWE is great at, making characters better than what they were in other organizations. So I think they're just going to improve on him, and I think we just got to wait to see what's going to happen. But to kind of go back to hit a couple points.
But didn't you guys feel that way about the New Day in the beginning?
I hated New Day in the beginning.
I mean, yeah, it's
and now you guys like them. So
yeah, no, I'm agreeing. Yeah, we gotta wait for the story.
And I liked the New Day in the beginning. We
gotta go back. What you call it? But as far as No Mercy goes, I think No Mercy was I think it was a solid pay per view. I don't think it was great. If I had to rate it, I'd probably give it like a B minus. I think that starting the pay per view off with the triple threat match, I kind of thought, like, we were talking about, I thought they were going to, do Miz last because, to try to build up on Dolph Ziggler, his career being on the line. So I thought that was, like, the whole gist of it. That, this is Dolph Ziggler's last hurrah, and, he might not, win the IC title, then he might, retire. He was on Instagram building it up. He was taking pictures with everybody saying this might be his last SmackDown and this and that. So I think the Miz and the Dolph Ziggler match was probably the best match, with the triple threat match. But I think it was a really great match. I think they really did a good job last night. The Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt match, I didn't think that should have been the main event either. I don't think Luke Harper coming back is a big enough attraction for you to put that as the main event as a big surprise of someone who's coming back.
Good surprise.
I mean, it's a good surprise. Yeah, I'm glad he's back.
I agree with you 100%.
I don't think it's like a big enough, like,
Yeah,
man,
Harper,
the wrestling world isn't buzzing right now. Like, Luke Harper is back.
They broke the news a couple of days ago that he was back, but but I understand what you're saying.
So no one, the internet isn't going crazy.
Exactly.
Like, Luke Harper's back.
He's not special.
Yeah, I don't think it was that big. As far as Kurt Hawkins, I think, kind of what they were trying to do with him is, if you look at it, SmackDown viewings have been like down. They suck lately.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what they're trying to do is, put him on a pay-per-view and say, he's going to have his match on SmackDown to try to drive up viewership for SmackDown. So I think that was the whole thing with him, not having a match, but we'll put it on SmackDown Live.
But the only thing I think that hurts that, to your point, is why do that on the pre-show when people are filing in and not on the actual show? Because it only took 10 seconds. You didn't go out there for like 20 minutes,
But I guess the way they're looking at it more as who's actually watching the pre-show on the network as opposed to who's actually in the arena. They're going to hear about it regardless.
Yeah, man, true.
Yeah, so that's probably, the point with that. But, overall, I think the pay-per-view, I think it was solid. Yeah. It wasn't the greatest,
I thought Naomi did a great job for filling in for Becky. Mm-hmm. I thought Bliss had a great backstage segment with Shane and Daniel complaining about when she's going to get one. Mm-hmm. And they kind of came up with like a November 8th kind of thing. And I'm like, that's like a month away. It's kind of...
I mean, that's what, the next pay-per-view, right?
No, it's a SmackDown showing.
Yeah,
overseas.
Okay.
And I was like, wow, that's about like a month away.
It'd probably be when Becky Lynch is like cleared to come back. Yeah,
that's if she's really cleared it around that time to come back too. So I was like, they could have just said, we'll do it on a future episode, but to give it an exact date and location, I was like, that's a little ballsy.
So, I mean, they probably pretty much know, like, her recovery time and when she'll be back, and to give her enough time.
The only thing I hate was when they promise that kind of stuff, and then like something happens, like Sutton Benjamin,
like a setback or something.
They promise him coming in a couple weeks, and then they're like, we're gonna drop that whole thing because he got hurt. Yeah. So. That's just my thing.
I think as far as the Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton match goes, I thought the build-up and the vignettes and the video packages during the pay-per-view and even before on SmackDown and everything were much more interesting than the match itself. And even like Harper coming out, like I didn't think the match itself like held my interest. Like I thought it was boring,
What's that? With
the Bray Wyatt and Orton match. But they had like the video packages throughout the whole pay-per-view, like kind of building interest up to it as the last match and everything. Yeah. And I thought those were much more interesting than the actual match itself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I could be like completely wrong on this too, but I feel like probably like kind of like what they, if you can call it experimenting, that they were trying to see because rumor has it, I'm pretty sure this is pretty true because John Cena's leaving and Dean Ambrose has to leave too because they're gonna start filming whatever crappy WWE movie that they're coming out with next. But those two guys are basically gonna be gone, so I don't know. They have to kind of build up for somebody to take on AJ, and I feel like Randy Orton is probably that person that's gonna be feuding with AJ next. And I think with Bray Wyatt, you could do something interesting with him as well, whether it be a triple threat match or
another one
or something. I mean, it could be another one, or I mean, I think it would be interesting just if they did something weird with Bray Wyatt versus AJ Styles type of thing. But that's me just being a wrestling fan and wishing for a match that I would want to see. But I think that's kind of like what they were doing too. They're trying to even though you don't need to build up Randy Orton, he's Randy Orton, but I think that's kind of like what they were doing. Like, oh, let's show like these guys are main event guys.
Yeah.
So we can put them, when these two guys leave, like, oh, we have 2 stars here. You don't miss John Cena and don't miss Dean Ambrose. We have Randy Orton and we have Bray Wyatt. These are 2 stars too.
I'm glad that Bray actually got the win too.
Yeah.
That was surprising.
Yeah, that was good.
Like he needed one.
Yeah.
Him and Dean Ambrose.
Yeah.
What I had heard was that one reason why, I don't know how true it is, I don't believe it, but one reason why they put the main event early and same with the Miz and Ziggler match that they didn't put it last was because of the debate last night.
Oh, because of the debate. Okay.
Yeah.
So maybe they
I don't know
like
how
they
true
were going
it
to
is.
give viewership
Yeah,
to the
exactly.
debate. Okay, that could make sense.
I mean,
Yeah, I get that.
I mean, I feel like if you're a hardcore wrestling fan,
Exactly, that's what I mean.
I didn't turn off to watch the debate.
Because I'm like, honestly,
I know who won that debate without even watching it.
yeah. I mean, honestly, if the out of the pay-per-view, I would have probably not watched the whole pay-per-view, and I would have probably only watched the main event to see, John Cena, AJ Styles, and Dean Ambrose. So if they would have put it last and something else was on, I would have flicked the channel between both things. But the main event would have probably been the only thing that I would have seriously watched, and maybe Dolph Ziggler and the Miz, because I'm a Miz fan. So that, and I think that storyline is pretty interesting. I would have probably watched that. So I don't know. I think hardcore wrestling fans, I don't think they really care about the debate, to be
I don't
honest.
think so either.
Even though this is the one time we should be caring about the debates. But I'm pretty sure, that one had, made a difference anyway.
Vince for president.
Vince for president.
What do you think about this pay-per-view against the Raw pay-per-view?
The one that just passed?
Yeah.
What was that one?
Clash of Champions.
Yeah.
Clash of Champions? I think Clash of Champions was better.
Me too. I think
Clash of
it
Champions
was way better.
I think SmackDown Live just set with the injury to Becky Lynch, as well as I don't know. I just feel like they're not deep. Their roster, they don't have a lot of superstar guys there.
I was just telling Andrew Joe should come up to SmackDown.
That would be
yeah, we talked about Joe coming up to SmackDown.
But the funny thing is, we always think about all these good guys we want to come to SmackDown to help build up the SmackDown roster. Mm-hmm. But I heard that possibly Joe could be the guy that they build up and that Mick Foley introduces to fight Braun Strowman, which would mean that he would end up on Raw.
That would be another guy going on.
That would be another guy going on Raw.
We did say that.
But you know what? I think that they'll probably put him and Nakamura both on Raw just because it's a 3-hour show and they don't have the bodies to fill it. Because, we
were talking about too. I'm worried about Nakamura drowning in Raw. Not because he's not a fan favorite, just because I think it happens to so many other wrestlers.
I don't think they'll know how to use them properly too.
NXT is garnered towards people our age, in the 28, 27 adult male.
Yep. And
WWE is garnered towards the little kids. And lately, sometimes people come up and it's not a good correlation between what they had in NXT. Like Adam Rose was very popular in NXT. Comes to the main roster, and
nothing. Yeah, and I think
he doesn't get a reaction. And they had great vignettes for him and everything. I remember you didn't like him in the beginning. I liked him because he's a good wrestler, Adam Rose. I thought the gimmick was good too. And when they bring up No Way Jose, I feel like that's going to be another kind of thing where people are like, I don't know about that guy.
Yeah. So that does happen a lot. And I feel like a lot of the time when guys go up, I feel like WWE, like they give up on the guys sometimes.
Yeah.
When they go up.
You remember Kenzo Suzuki?
Yeah.
And Hiroko?
Yeah, of course.
He was a great wrestler, and the sky was the limits for him. He got lost in the SmackDown shuffle. Him and Rene Dupree was another one. The tag team champions together. They both got lost. Also, Mark Jindrak, Luther Reigns. A lot of those guys in 04, they just got lost in the shuffle. That's why I think a lot of guys came back, like Road Warrior Animal and Tatanka in 06 and 05 kind of elevate the show a little bit more with some veteran talent. Because a lot of the rookie guys Jindrak wasn't really a rookie. They weren't carrying the show as well.
Yeah, and I think if you look at even if you look at guys like even recently, like think about like Tyler Breeze, like how great is he as a wrestler?
Oh, he's great.
Yeah,
but he's lost right now in the shuffle, and
he's gonna be a tag team champion with.
I'm starting to not even do that.
Dongo.
Even with the tag team stuff, they're losing me because American Alpha. I don't know what's going on with them. They're in 8-man tag matches.
No, they'll be fine. Everything is gonna work out.
I don't know, and I don't know. Everything is just a little bit confusing. But like to your point though, like you said, like a lot of the guys they do get lost in the shuffle. Nakamura, I'm not too sure what they would do with him. I think they should, when they bring him up, like he should go to SmackDown. I think he would be a good guy to go to SmackDown.
I love Nakamura. He can't do any wrong in my book.
I think
NXT is the perfect place for him.
The only thing with him is his promos.
Yeah, I know.
He can't talk.
He can't talk.
He doesn't know English. He can't talk. Or
he knows English.
He knows very minimal English. Like
he has a thick accent.
And the thing with him is like he has really good wrestling. That's the thing with him. He's a great wrestler.
He has great facial expressions in his promo too.
Yeah, I mean,
like we watched him before.
Yeah,
he just has a mannerism that just transcends anything NXT has. By far,
definitely no. I think he's great. Trust me. To the hardcore fans like us, he's great. But that transferring to the main roster, I don't know. That'll be kind of tough. So I don't want to see him turn into Funaki.
I don't want to see that either.
I don't want to see him doing stupid vignettes and all these dumb things.
Some Japanese guys do well. Tajiri. Tag team champion, cruiserweight champion.
Think about Tajiri. What they start making him do like some silly stuff too.
Stupid stuff.
Yeah, I mean everyone does stupid stuff every once in a while, but
Vince knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
we gotta investigate Vince. What does he have against Asians? Man? He's like he's killing the Asians.
He's against everybody.
Yeah, right.
That's not just Asians.
I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on. Seriously.
Where do you think Ziggler is going from here now with the
all the way up?
Oh man. Well, I mean, that's the thing with Ziggler. I feel like a lot of times with him, I feel like he's like Dean Ambrose to me. He's great chasing the title.
Yeah.
You're always rooting for the guy. Even you think about WrestleMania, the night everybody's going crazy in Jersey, they want him to come out. And they want him to cash in on Del Rio and win the World Heavyweight Championship. They do it the next night on Raw. Everybody's going nuts. Everybody's happy that Dolph Ziggler is the World Heavyweight Champion. And then after that, he just loses everything. The fans they give him no reaction after that. People like to see people chase, like Dolph Ziggler, Dean Ambrose. You just like to see them guys chase. The only guy that I think I've ever seen that they like seeing him chase and they actually want him to be the champion is Daniel Bryan.
Yep.
Everybody else, they just like seeing him chase. They don't actually want them to be the champion.
I will say that Ziggler is his own worst enemy too, because he'll go on like interview after interview and he'll trash creative and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and he gets in the doghouse and you're like, why would you do that? They're about to give you the push, and you go out and you're like, I'm gonna just trash everybody. And I'm like, I hit my head and I'm like, what are you doing?
I think he should get a push after this
I think
program. He should go on a big push now, though.
I think they should, let him hold the title for a while.
Yeah.
Like, give him something. And you know, the funny thing is, I was watching some of the network the other day, and like when he was with Vicky Guerrero and he was at Hill, and I was looking at that stuff. I was like, yo, this is like good like stuff right here.
Yeah.
And I was thinking maybe they should change him back to a Hill. You know, maybe just Dolph Ziggler being maybe him being a face is not for him.
Right. Yeah.
The fans, you know, you love him. You know, he's a great wrestler.
Wasn't for Michaels.
Yeah, you know, he's a great wrestler. Maybe they need to just make him a heel. And, you know, just have him just be an a-hole to everybody. Have him get some heat. He'll definitely get
I think
heat.
that was his best when he was with Vicky Guerrero.
When he was with Vicky Guerrero. Yeah, it was good. He was the IC champion, too, at that time.
They always say that he had a bad career these last couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't look at it like that. He's had a decent career. He had a lot of WrestleMania moments.
There's a lot of people who wish they had his
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think he's had... I mean, he had a bad beginning.
Mm-hmm.
From 2009 up, he's been pretty solid.
Yeah.
Pretty solid career. I think a lot of guys would want to have his career. Maybe not the Spirit Squad stuff or the caddy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But if you disregard that,
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think you'll show that in the video package for the Hall of Fame. You're just going to show the Dolph stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, he had a couple of ups and downs. Did he have like a winning loss record like a lot of people? MVP had a losing record. He's still very popular when he turned it around.
Yeah.
I don't see it as a bad career. I thought it was a great storyline though to make it seem like it won, but it definitely wasn't a bad career.
Yeah. When I think of Ziggler, the one word that comes to mind for him is constant.
Yeah.
He's constant.
Yeah.
You think about him, he's always a guy.
And
If you need him, he's gonna be a great performer for you. If you need him to fill in, just like he fought Dean Ambrose at SummerSlam, he's gonna put a great match on for you.
Mm-hmm.
He's gonna be able to fill in. You know, that's what he does.
but it wasn't even too long ago that he was the Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah.
I just hope that this run with the IC title doesn't fall off
Yeah.
like the last one. Just because the last run, they had both shows on each show, so some things get overlooked. But now that there's a different roster for each show,
Yeah.
they're trying to I think they're trying to re-elevate the IC title. And then the Miz, I thought, did a really good job doing that for SmackDown.
Yeah, so like with the Miz, is the Miz like, is he still hanging around, or is he about to go off and shoot another straight to DVD movie or something like that? Like why?
I don't
Because I kind of wonder like why they kind of like took
I
it
think
off.
he'll
of him.
stick around.
He's like a straight up heat magnet, man.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I think he'll be on TV still.
Yeah, he should
now
be.
he has to chase it,
Yeah.
which will be interesting now.
Yeah, maybe we'll see like a really
I
aggressive
feel
side
like it's
to him
so
or
much
something.
better the other way around with
With
Miz having it and Ziggler going after.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I guess so too. But when he even shot the last movie he made,
Mhm.
he still had the belt. He left for about 3 weeks on TV.
Yeah, true.
So I don't think he's leaving. I don't think it matters if he leaves
And I
with the IC title.
kind of think this.
I think it made sense to end it.
I kind of think it like kind of builds up too. I think it all kind of everything revolves around that John Cena and Dean Ambrose aren't going to be there. So you know,
Yeah.
Dolph Ziggler is one of their main guys. So I'm thinking, you know, they're thinking let's give him the title.
Mhm.
So basically, you know, while these guys are gone, the face of the brand is going to be Dolph Ziggler. He's the IC champion. AJ Styles, Randy Orton, the legend, whatever, and
Wyatts.
Bray Wyatt, yeah, and the Wyatts, and then you kind of like think about it, who else is really like who else are you watching SmackDown for? The tag team division is pretty
Basically,
interesting, but it's like, what are you really watching SmackDown for? So I think they're strategically putting pieces in to see what's gonna happen.
They're gonna fill it up with more Shane and Daniel Bryan promos.
Yeah, you're probably
It's gonna be a
right.
lot.
You're probably right. That's
even
definitely-
though they say they don't go on TV as much.
Mhm. Yeah, definitely. No, that's. I think that's definitely for sure. But I mean, I can see. I don't know. This is like me with more stuff that probably won't happen. But maybe they decide to have Bray Wyatt finally go after a title and feud with
He
Ziggler
should.
for the Intercontinental
That's what I
title
think
maybe
they
or
should do.
something. But I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. I think it's pretty interesting.
I think that might be too soon.
That may be too soon. I don't
I think
know.
Miz has to chase it first for a little bit.
I mean, the Miz, I got you. Yeah, I mean, yeah. You got to go with that storyline for sure, and you got to
I think you
have
could stretch
Miz
this
try to
out
get his
for
title
another.
back.
Yeah, I think you could stretch it out for
Like
a
at
couple
least
more months.
two more pay-per-views.
2 or 3 more. Yeah,
Yeah, that'd
maybe
be
even
cool.
4.
Nah, that's too much. That's too much.
Oh my God.
I don't want to see that much Miz and Ziggler.
You know what I thought was interesting about the pay-per-view? And not that, I expected AJ to to win and retain.
Mhm.
But leading up to the pay-per-view, he beat Cena twice on SmackDown, right? Or once. Was it once or twice?
On the pay-per-views.
No, on SmackDown.
What are you talking about?
He beat Cena on SmackDown.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
He beat Cena on SmackDown.
Yeah.
And then Dean Ambrose beat him on SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cena lost twice on SmackDown.
Mhm.
Like, when's the last time that Cena lost clean
Yeah.
on SmackDown?
Yeah.
Or Raw even, I guess with Kevin Owens, it's probably the last time he lost on Raw. But think about it, on SmackDown, when's the last time that Cena lost on SmackDown?
Yeah, it's probably been a while for that.
Probably never.
Yeah.
No, he's awesome on SmackDown.
Probably just it hasn't been a long time.
And it happened twice.
Like I know.
And like
twice in a
back-to-back
row,
week.
yeah.
And now he lost 3 times.
Yeah.
Like,
On a pay-per-view.
yeah, exactly.
AJ Styles.
I mean, with John Cena, you know what that's gonna do though. It's gonna be John
One
Cena
match, Barry.
before he left. He was on a losing streak, and he went to
Yeah.
Hollywood. He did whatever, and then now he's come back with that never give up attitude, and then he goes on a freaking 100-win winning
Oh, well,
streak.
yeah, he's gonna...
Becomes a 16-time world champion.
He's gonna get thrown in the title picture right away. But I'm just saying, like,
Mhm.
when's the last time that Cena lost not one match on SmackDown, but now 2 matches,
Yeah.
and then he loses the pay-per-view too.
I think that just shows to me personally, the way I look at it as that shows that Cena's faith in AJ Styles and trying to put AJ Styles over because he knows he's going to be gone. And it's funny that it's funny that it said that AJ is saying, "Oh, I'm the face that runs the place," but he technically is the face that runs the place now because John Cena's gone. So
He is.
who's else running the show? Like the show is on AJ Styles back now.
He makes
Lazy part-timer.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah, lazy part timer.
He makes
I highly
SmackDown.
doubt it. Cena, he's a good guy when he wants to be. I mean,
He's the weirdest guy at home.
That's
He's the total Bellas.
yeah, definitely.
Take your shoes off.
We already know.
Make your bed in the morning. And I'm like, wow, like,
I
this
take
guy
my
has
shoes
rules.
off at your house.
Yeah, no, I mean like at dinner.
Yeah, Andrew's the weirdest guy. No, speaking of total Bellas, what do you guys think about Brie Bella? She's actually her and Daniel Bryan announced that they're having a baby.
It's good. Maybe they'll have that baby will be in the wrestling business then.
Like little Maxwell.
Yeah, exactly.
Delete.
Yeah.
No, I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it's kind of ironic because we always talk about how Nikki Bella wanted the baby. How do you think Nikki
Hashtag
Bella is
babyless.
Yeah, how do you think she's feeling about that right now?
Jelly.
She's probably hating.
Jealous,
yeah.
or maybe she's just happy that.
And now
there's
they're
a
all
baby
Probably a
in the
little bit of
family.
both.
And they're all living together, right?
Well,
I don't think
probably
they're
not.
living,
Yeah.
Probably not, right?
They probably filmed that like last year or something.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
Right after he got, not last year. This
Wait,
year.
was it after he retired?
Yeah.
Was that after
Yeah,
he
it was after he
retired?
retired.
So it's not.
Yeah,
it's
during his
still a
during his
while back.
retirement.
Yeah. So I mean, I think that's pretty interesting. I guess she might. It'd be funny if she has twins. Can you imagine?
Triples.
Yeah, right. It
Triples.
runs in the family.
That'd be funny.
It'll be athletic family.
And that's funny. That's funny that you said that. Like,
Can you see Daniel Bryan parroting? Yes, you can have that. Yes. No bottle.
you know the funny thing is you said like what if Cena got her pregnant? I don't know if everybody heard that, but Pat said that, yes. But the funny thing is every time I'm like looking at Instagram, that whole time Nikki Bella was injured, Daniel Bryan was like always with Nikki Bella, and I thought it was like mad weird.
It's true. That is
they have
true.
so many Instagram pictures
Actually,
together and Snapchats and
you
stuff.
know
I'm like,
the-
what is going on with these two?
Your wife
You know what
saw
the
it.
weirdest thing is?
What's that?
In NXT, both Bella twins kissed Daniel Bryan
And
when he was really dating her in real life.
that's when they were doing like the whole.
Daniel Bryan's a nerd, and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff
but
like
the
that.
girls love him.
And I was like, oh, it was after NXT.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, I remember what you're saying.
Yeah, well, it kind of bled into NXT too because he was Bateman's manager.
Yeah.
But I was like, man, like he just made out with his sister-in-law
Yeah.
and his wife.
But yeah, I just
Like looking back at it, it's kind of weird.
yeah, and I think it's like weird now. I always think that I'm like these guys are always together. I'm like, what is going on, man? That's pretty weird.
Family
To
stays together.
Family
All in the
stays-
family.
It's a family affair. You ever hear that song?
me. Yeah.
It's a
And all right. So speaking of weird, let's talk about I guess Eddie Edwards winning the TNA World Heavyweight title.
That
What
was
do you guys think about that decision by
That was
Dixie and TNA and Corrigan?
Definitely, poor decision, in my opinion. I was shocked when that happened. I didn't think Lashley would lose it to him of all people, too.
Yeah.
It was unexpected. I just can't see him. To me, it's just not even believable him beating Lashley either, too.
Yeah.
You know, just from visual, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
He's a great wrestler.
Definitely.
To me, he falls into that I'm a tag team wrestler, because he is.
That's exactly what I was going to say. Mm-hmm.
So, to me, he hasn't really had much personality other than I'm a tag team wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
His promos are kind of okay.
Subpar.
Kind of okay.
Yeah, they're decent. Like he drives the home what he has to drive home, like in the promo, whatever he's doing, he nails it.
I'm gonna beat you.
Yeah, you know, like or watch next week, and so you want to watch it next week.
We're the Wolves.
Yeah, yeah, you know, Wolf Nation and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I get the characters, the tattoos. I mean, he looks the part. Wrestling wise, I can't knock him. He's a great wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
They just really seem to like him lately in TNA,
Like
which
him a lot.
I don't blame. But to me, he hasn't shred that tag team character yet because his partner's still on reserve on the injured list. So to me, it was just a little odd, especially when you're building up 3 or 4 other guys that could take it. Moose could have taken it. EC3,
Cody.
Mike Bennett, Cody.
I'd rather see Brodus Clay take it than Mike.
And the other guy too you're building up, maybe this is why they did it, because maybe it'll be an easy win for Eli Drake.
True.
So to me, that it was an odd choice. I'm just thinking that he's just going to be a transitional champion. I don't think he's going to have a long, lengthy run.
There's no way.
That's the same thing I was thinking too. I thought, you know, they have Eddie Edwards win it because it's more believable if somebody else beating him to win the title. Yeah. So, and I'm hoping that they go with Mike Bennett. That's my pick for, you know, to make heavyweight champ. I think that guy is great. I think he's a great wrestler. I think he's you know, a great heel. I love heels. I think he's a great heel, and I think they should, you know, give him the title. Eddie Edwards, just like you said, I thought the same exact thing. I was like, this guy's a tag team. Like, what are you doing? Like, you're giving your world heavyweight champion to a tag team guy. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like
even before that, you remember he was winning X Division titles.
Yeah.
Winning some of those the new title they have, the Grand Championship. He won. I think won a couple of those matches, right?
Yeah, he was in the tournament. Yeah.
He made it all. I mean, they replaced him with
lost
Drew.
To like Aaron Rex or something like that.
Yeah, they replaced him with Drew Galloway.
Yeah, because Drew Galloway's injured. Yeah, they put him in that title match.
I was like, damn, this guy wasn't even advertised for the show, and now they're throwing him in.
And now he's the world heavyweight champion.
Yeah, you know,
he lost the tournament, and then the next night he wins.
Hey,
you know what I mean?
They did their job because we're ending up talking about this.
Yeah,
you know, it was shock and awe.
Mm-hmm.
In the end of the day, does it really matter if Vince's going to buy it anyway, right?
Yeah, I mean, I guess, right? Yeah.
That's the rumor.
Speaking of, what do you guys think about WWE possibly buying TNA video library and adding it to the WWE network?
I think it'd be just make better videos for WWE just from that aspect. Like, you know, whenever they make any like documentaries like they have like WWE 24 or whatever, they could use the old footage. Like, like if they made it 24 for AJ Styles or whatever, they could just use his old footage and things like that.
That'd be good. I think it'll be good. It'll I think it'll add depth to the WWE library. And my thing with it too, I mean, the way I'm thinking WWE is looking at it is that they have a lot of TNA guys coming in, and they're probably looking at it as, you know, to our general fans that don't know these TNA guys, let's bring something in that can reference to who these guys are and how great they really are. I don't know, you know, but at the end of the day, I think they just want more footage for the network. That's all it really is.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, that's really it. I don't think it's a bad idea if they are doing it. I mean, I don't know how true it is. WWE hasn't confirmed it yet. So, I mean, we'll see. But I hear they're buying it. TNA has to change their name and all this stuff. But then Dixie Carter made a post. She was like, breaking news. There is no breaking news. Yeah. So, I don't know what's going on with those guys.
Supposedly, like, there's going to be different levels to, like, the network. And, like, you could get, like, Ring of Honor and TNA and, like, all the different, like, indie parts depending on, like, what package you get. That's what I read, at least.
That'd be cool. That I mean, I could believe that. I mean, you know, I feel like WWE kind of opened it up when they did the whole Cruiserweight Classic thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it can be kind of the same thing when, you know, with them doing with this. You know, they're just opening up, and maybe they do some partnerships with Ring of Honor, TNA, and stuff like that, just to kind of get that. You know, it's basically making them a conglomerate. They own all of wrestling.
The only thing too is they're gonna be very selective of what footage they show.
They put on there, yeah.
Because even if they don't buy TNA, and let's say Billy Corgan keeps it, those guys are gonna stay there. Probably like EC3. I don't see them all jumping ship just yet.
Yeah, no,
especially after they felt wronged.
Yeah, and
WWE to
especially WWE is not going to promote other wrestlers on other shows.
Yeah, definitely not.
They're not going to be like, oh, watch all the TNA matches and have clips of EC3. They're probably going to show the Sting and Kurt Angle stuff.
You'll see AJ Styles versus Kurt Angle. You're not going to see AJ Styles and EC3 or anything like that.
You're not going to see. Yeah, you're not going to see. I mean. They'll probably wait a couple of years to put in all the stuff.
Yeah.
After somebody leaves and stuff. Even TNA has been doing that lately, too. Mm-hmm. They came out with like a Sting DVD right afterwards, a AJ Styles DVD.
Yep.
If you wanted to see one feud from a TNA guy versus a WWE guy, who would it be?
I think it's the one everyone's been talking about, Lashley and Brock.
Oh,
that's a good pick.
I think that's the one everyone really wants to see. They both, even he talked about it on the JR's blog. They both never met each other. They were both coming in, going at different times. So I think that's the one people really want to see. Yeah. They built Brock Lesnar, Bobby Lashley, to be the next Brock Lesnar. It didn't pan out in WWE because he split. It's a big match. I think that's the biggest match you can possibly get. Maybe Seth Rollins EC3.
I think
that's what I was thinking.
I think kind of like with the Brock and Lashley thing. I'm kind of thinking of it. You know, it's two big names, but do I really want to see those two guys wrestle
exactly.
each other?
That's why.
I mean, I agree. I think that Bobby Lashley has gotten like drastically better.
He has
than what he was in WWE. I think he's like phenomenal for TNA right now. He's killing it for those guys. But Brock Lesnar has kind of went backwards. Brock Lesnar is great too. He's a freaking
when he wants.
He's an athletic freak. Don't get me wrong, but you know what are all his matches?
Suplex City.
Exactly. So what are we gonna watch him suplex Lashley around for like 20 minutes? That's the thing about
Lashley though. He looks big enough to be a contender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't see him throwing around Lashley that much.
Yeah.
Just because they built Lashley to be the destroyer in TNA, and even when his old rub in WWE, where he was coming out and didn't really have a character, he was just dominant. That was his thing. I don't see it being a lopsided match. I mean, the Cena one was odd because that was John Cena.
Yeah.
Randy Orton didn't feel it lopsided until the very end, I thought.
Yeah.
The Dean Ambrose one, that felt very lopsided.
Yeah.
There's some other...
The Roman one was good.
Yeah, Roman was okay. There's some other ones that have been lopsided, like Kofi and Brock. Like, you just know Kofi's going to get destroyed. And Luke Harper is going to get destroyed with Brock in there. So there's been some... Yeah, Mark Henry and Big Show being destroyed.
Yeah.
So there's been some standalone feuds that have been okay. Triple H, Lesnar.
Yeah.
So I don't see anybody... Even if Lesnar beats the shit out of Lesnar... I don't see Lashley.
Yeah.
I don't see Lashley walking away in that match hurt.
Yeah,
like his persona.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be like a lopsided match, but I don't know. I just don't think it'll be a good match. I mean, just
it could be.
Just even looking at like him and like even they're talking about him and Goldberg again. But like even looking at that, this match reminds me of him versus Goldberg
exactly
back then, which I think was a match that sucked.
I have no interest.
The thing too is Bobby Lashley is a lot better of a wrestler than Goldberg was in WCW.
That's what I think. I think if you look at it from that time,
Goldberg wasn't even. I love Goldberg. My grandma loved him. That's why I liked him a little bit more. Also because he's Jewish like me. But. In no standpoint can Bill Goldberg wrestle 30 minutes.
No,
but Bobby Lashley can at least wrestle 30 minutes.
But I agree with that. But I agree. I'm looking at it from this point. I think at that time, Brock Lesnar versus Lashley sounds great. Brock Lesnar that time versus Lashley now. Is a great match.
Oh yeah, Lashley back then.
Lesnar now versus this Lashley now. I don't think it's a good match. Because I kind of agree with kind of like what Dean Ambrose says. I think Lesnar's going to be lazy in the match. I don't think it's going to be that great match. I think that's kind of why Lesnar has reverted to Suplex City.
Yep.
Because he's kind of being lazy. That's what
easy.
he wants to do. He wants to be a beast, come in, throw people around. 1, 2, 3, 5 minutes later, he's walking back to the showers.
The other thing too is when the boss tells you to do something, you do it.
Yeah, I mean,
so they tell him to work his ass off. Maybe he'll do it. You know, he's getting paid by Vince. So I don't see Vince.
I mean, we'll see. Brock Lesnar, I feel like he's one of those personalities where I mean, he doesn't need WWE.
Care, yeah.
So he's like, if you want to let me go, let me go.
Exactly. I think the other thing too is I don't think he
6 days a
respected
week.
Dean Ambrose as much as some of the other guys.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he was a little hard to work with. You know, I don't know. I don't see him having a problem with Billy. I think if you say something like this might be a big match, and maybe he'll put a little bit more effort into it.
Yeah.
I think he just knew going into WrestleMania. Nothing against Dean Ambrose, because we like him.
Yeah. So
maybe that's just his problem. Maybe he didn't
respect him enough. So I'll actually
maybe he didn't see that as like a main event.
Yeah. So I'll like you think about it, like since Lashley has been in TNA or whatever, like. What great match can you think of that Leslie's had?
Lashley?
Since he's been in TNA. Like, tell me a great match off the top of your head that you could just think of.
EC3, the most recent one.
You think that was a good match, him and EC3?
I thought Bound for Glory. I thought it was an okay match. I mean, you've had some good matches with him.
A great match. A great match you think of. Not really, right? Not too many. Not. You can't really, off the top of your head, just think, Bobby
maybe
Lashley
Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle and him had a good match.
Okay, so
him and Kurt.
That's a good one. That's a good one because it's gonna go to my point. Think of a match recently that Lesnar's come back that he's a great match Lesnar has had.
I think his best ones with Roman and Seth, WrestleMania.
Was the Royal Rumble when we saw
Triple Threat, Seth Rollins and
Cena.
John Cena.
That was probably his best.
So my point, that match with Bobby Lashley was great because Kurt Angle was in it. That match with Brock Lesnar was great because Seth Rollins freaking stole the show.
I get what you're saying.
So you got two dudes that are kind of being carried by who they're fighting, and you're putting them in the ring with each other.
That's true.
Yep.
And that's what you're going to get. Who's going to carry who in this match?
Yeah, I'm just saying, I think it has the possibility. I think that's the biggest match you can name, though.
No, if you look at the name, that's money right there.
I
think that's the biggest. That's the biggest guy in TNA.
I mean, you look at the names, it's going to sell.
He has a well-groomed pedigree.
Mm-hmm.
Bobby Lashley is an MMA fighter.
Yeah.
WWE wrestler.
I think that's just how they'll play it, too. This is basically like
a shoot fight.
Basically, like you said, building Brock Lesnar over again, you got Bobby Lashley. And you're basically the same type of people just fighting each other. Who's going to destruct the immovable object versus the...
I'm not saying it's going to be a classic.
Imaginable force, whatever they call it.
I'm saying it's going to be... I think it's going to be a lot better than Bill and Lesnar.
Yeah.
Bill Goldberg and Lesnar.
Mm-hmm.
If you're asking me what's the biggest matchup that they could do, that's it.
Yeah.
Would I like to see it? I wouldn't mind seeing it. I've seen worse.
I just have no interest in seeing matches with two big guys in it that just hit each other. That's it.
Think of historically
those matches suck.
With two big guys in them. Typically,
those matches
they suck.
Even this past one, I thought sucked.
Hey, Khali and Big Show.
Yeah,
that was a classic.
That was great. Or
every Braun Strowman match
versus Great Khali in the Punjabi prison match was amazing. That was a classic match.
The way you could jump Batista over bamboo.
Every match with two big guys always sucks.
Freaking ridiculous, man.
Come on, man. Undertaker carried him in the...
Yeah, no. That was... Yeah, no. Sorry. But, I mean, it is what it is. But, I mean, as far as, what you asked, I mean, me, personally, who I would want to see, TNA versus WWE, I mean, I'd probably say, Mike Bennett versus Seth Rollins.
Yeah, I guess.
Or,
to me, they're too similar right now.
No. Seth's a good guy.
He's a face. Seth is a face right now.
Brock Lesnar and Bobby Lashley.
No, personality-wise, I feel like.
But I'm thinking of, heel versus face.
Yeah.
He's a heel now.
Yeah.
I mean, what else?
Seth plays a really good heel.
Yeah. And then, I mean, besides that, I mean, if you're talking about just just the way they are now, I would say, Drew McIntyre versus Sheamus. I think that would be like a
That'd be
physical,
good.
crazy match.
Yeah, that'd be good.
I think
so.
that would be like a straight up physical match. The new Drew McIntyre, like I love him.
Yeah.
I think he reminds me of Sheamus. Like he's like just a freaking savage there.
I love Eli Drake.
Eli Drake is amazing too. He's a great talker for sure.
I like to see him get in there with somebody who could talk, maybe Enzo, just to see them talk against each other.
That'd be
Just-
such a
That'd be
lopsided
so
match.
stupid.
No, not like a match, but just like a verbal
You come up with the
conversation.
worst things,
Yeah.
I swear.
Because like Enzo's a good talker, and so is Eli. So I want to see them like or like Jericho, Eli.
That would be good.
That'd be kind of cool
I
too.
appreciate that. Eli Drake and Chris Jericho.
I just want to see him
Yeah.
just talk.
Yeah,
I just want to see him talk to people.
we're gonna
Okay,
have
people-
a debate.
I want to see people
Yeah,
like
the
because he
debate.
already has that talk show,
Yeah,
and I love when he just talks to people, and they just say like they get so upset when he says something.
yeah.
So I want to see like Enzo get mad at him, or Big Cass, or Jericho, or Kevin Owens, just so because I just think he's so funny. Like
Yeah.
like and then like whenever anybody talks back to him,
Mhm.
like he comes back on the camera, like he walk away like all pissed off, and then he comes back, and then he'll get like the last word in.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
let's
it's-
hit,
yeah.
hit that button.
So to me, that's just so funny.
Yeah.
I would go with EC3 and Seth just to
EC3
round
and
it
Seth.
out. Yeah.
That's a good
I
one.
think the promos in that would be awesome just to build
Yeah.
up the match. And plus, they're both great in the ring.
Yeah. I can't wait to see if EC3 actually comes to the WWE and what they like do with him or try to work it out.
I feel like he won't ever come back. I would love to see it,
It's
but
possibly. I mean, it's possible. We can see. Never say never.
I want to see Drew McIntyre back.
Do you think you would see any of these guys from TNA and WWE
Nah,
right now?
that's-
No.
no.
So, no. Anything is possible.
I like to see
Anything is
James
possible.
Storm come back.
James Storm? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
That'd definitely be cool. So, what do you guys think about our last topic before we close up the show? What do you guys think about Paige and her suspension?
Got him.
Another
I think she
suspension.
honestly, I think she would be better off going to Lucha or TNA.
TNA.
She'd be much better. I'd go TNA if I was her. I would just ask for my release
Yeah.
and be gone.
Her parents kind of, spoke up for her and said, why she violated because she was, taking medicine and stuff for an injury. So, I mean, maybe this is just, just a little blip on the radar, but, I don't think it's that big of a deal. But I think WWE is still going to try to stick it out with her. And, once she gets back from injury, try to get her on there. But I mean, there's issue after issue with her.
Exactly.
So I don't know. Maybe
Talked about
from
this
maybe
for
from,
youth.
yeah, maybe from looking on the outside, maybe it looks a lot worse to us. But in WWE, they're just like, it's nothing.
Oh no, I'm just talking from Paige's perspective. I'd be
Uh-huh.
tired. Like, if I'm trying to take care of myself and everything, and WWE just keeps on. Like, I feel they are screwing me over constantly. I would just say, I'd ask for my release.
Mhm.
I feel like TNA would take better care of me, both in the ring.
Yeah.
Because think about it, before she got suspended the first time, she wasn't even on TV for at least a month.
Yeah. Yeah.
She wasn't doing anything.
So
Be-
yeah, I don't know. I think it's a little bit of possibly. I don't
Even
know.
before suspension, she was nagging injuries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So
I don't want to say WWE is bullying her, but maybe they're kind of singling her out for
That's
stuff,
yeah.
and they're looking for stuff to get her in trouble with. That's another possibility too, as well. So I mean, you don't know what's going on with her, but it's always something with her. Like the past couple months,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
crazy.
yeah, I mean, they just don't want to just pull anybody off the road because they're in the industry, especially now.
But you think she hasn't even been on the road? She hasn't
Yeah,
even been doing
exactly.
anything.
Yeah, but I mean, but that's because she's also had injuries too,
Yeah,
and then the suspension didn't help. But they really don't like pulling people off if they don't have to.
hmm
They rather you work superstars or something like that. They'll find something.
yeah.
So
So,
sometimes things happen. So I don't think.
yeah,
I think they're looking out for her well-being, her health at least right now, because that's what they seem to. Because they're a publicly traded company, they don't want to just throw somebody out there doing any drugs. That's why they do the testing. So
yeah. So I mean, most of the time, those tests are kind of whatever. Because I mean, a lot of those times, those guys are they're working out, they have injuries, and you think about it, these are those guys' careers.
Yeah.
If you got an injury and someone's telling you, I'm pretty sure Paige didn't just go out and say, whatever medicine she violated for, she didn't just take that. Somebody recommended to her.
That's true, but also like Rey Mysterio, also you never thought he would be suspended for something.
Yeah, no, but my point is, I'm saying that that's probably why she's suspended. They're all looking for a competitive edge, and they're trying to get back. This is their career.
Oh yeah, there's some things that are
they're trying to get paid. They want to get their money.
There's some things that like you can take, and then you I think if you can provide a doctor's note, they'll be okay.
Yeah.
Or even with the doctor's note, I think without the doctor's note, they'll still suspend you. But
there's some things, and there's a lot of borderline medicines that, that before they weren't violations, now they're violations. So it's a whole bunch of stuff going on with that. But I mean, it is what it is, and Paige is suspended again. Maybe we'll see her on TV sooner or later. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, so what do you guys...
You can see her on TV on the WWE Network.
Yeah, you can watch it for $9.99. Anytime. Anything else you guys got for this week?
TJ Perkins.
Getting
a lot of heat from backstage for his storyline.
That's kind of tough, though. It's so funny that they're talking about his storyline, with the whole, I was broke and stuff like that. He's not in creative.
Exactly, it's not his fault. It's given to him.
And I just heard them. They were talking about not Cedric Alexander. What's the other guy?
Rich Swann.
They're just talking about Rich Swann. The same thing. They were saying about him. Oh, he came up from nothing. He didn't have anything.
Exactly.
I think his story's a little bit different though, with his parents dying at such a young age. Both of them.
Yeah.
Where T.J. Perkins just was homeless, which a lot of guys are homeless.
He's not going around.
How do you give somebody heat for that? He's not going around saying, "Hey, I was homeless when I was young."
Yeah.
Well, he's been kind of doing that in the interviews too.
That's what they're telling him to do.
Yeah. No, I get that. No, I get that in his interviews. I think a lot of people just realize that like they've had the same story, they took the same road.
I understand that.
Just because that's the road that let's say like 80% of them have done.
Yeah.
I don't think everybody else has publicized that, even in their characters. They've always they've done a character where they don't even mention that. They usually mention it on a documentary. Mm-hmm. I don't know. To me, T.J. Perkins, he's like a 50-50 to me. I think he's okay. Mm-hmm. He's not the breakout star that I thought he would be, because I didn't really like him in TNA.
Yeah.
I think TNA. I was telling Pat, I think that what ruined him for me was TNA and those stupid gimmicks they gave him.
Yeah, I mean, I think
I didn't even think he excelled in those gimmicks. I thought he was just okay.
I think he would have been good. The thing for me that kind of made me lose interest in him is when they did the whole thing with Hulk Hogan and somebody was wearing his suit and they just showed us who Suicide was, aka Manic, whatever you want to call him. But for me, that was kind of like the thing. I feel like if I didn't know that he was Suicide or Manic. Yeah. And they brought him in now, and it was like, he's T.J. Perkins. I would be like, that's fine. This is some new guy I don't know. But knowing him, I'm like, they had him do some stupid stuff there, and I kind of lost interest in him there.
To me, it's that same character from TNA. Mm-hmm. Because remember in TNA, he lost the mask for a little bit?
Yeah.
And then he got the mask back, and then every other week he would alternate, and just trying to find himself.
It was like a half a mask.
Yeah, so to me, it's kind of like, change it up a little bit, man. Like,
but I mean,
this is what works for you.
I feel like his character is completely different, though. I mean, he's like, he changed.
His entrance is different. To me, his character is kind of the same.
His character is completely different.
Yeah,
he dances when he comes to the ring. He does the dab.
Yeah,
he's more in tune with the younger crowd. The way he dresses, he wears Jordans to the ring. Yeah, stuff like that. That's nothing. He wrestles the same, obviously, because he's the same wrestler.
Yeah, I don't know. There's something to me that just I don't know.
I don't know, but I mean, I think he's great.
And the other thing I don't like too is the separation of the cruiserweights to Raw.
Okay.
To the changing the ropes purple, making it like.
I don't like the purple ropes.
To me, I think they just keep it as Raw.
Yeah. No, I mean, I understand that. I mean, that I don't really care about too much. I think it's stupid.
I think it's stupid to distance themselves from the cruiserweight division. Mm-hmm. In the past, they've never done that.
Yeah.
To me, it's all one roster. It bleeds in anyway, so why not just keep it as one roster? I mean, you can specify it's a cruiserweight match. Mm-hmm. To me, but it just looks kind of dumb.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. Yeah, but I mean, as far as anything, it really doesn't matter to me. I think I think T.J. Perkins is pretty solid. I think he's good.
I like Tony Nese.
I think Tony Nese is good too. He actually got a victory this week. T.J. Perkins, I think he's just
he has to find something.
No, I think he's good, but I think he's just one of those people that you just like to hate. Like you just don't. You just sometimes you just see those people, you just don't like them, and I think that's what he's getting right now. Because even you can hear, even in the Cruiserweight Classic, I mean, like when I saw him wrestle, like there was a couple of people who were booing him, and I was like, there's just like some people who just don't like him for whatever reason it is, and I mean I don't get it.
I like his match. His matches don't bother me. It's just something about him.
Exactly. You just hate him. You don't know why.
Bobby Wayward.
Yeah, Bobby Wayward.
He's a great wrestler, but you just like, hey, I just hate this guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean.
Jamie Noble. Jamie Noble.
Yeah, of course.
Jamie.
We gotta talk about Jamie Noble. Jamie Noble.
Nice guy.
Getting stabbed. Yeah. What do you
Andrew
guys think about
was
that
the one that
situation?
did it. He just met the guy.
What do you guys think about that whole situation?
I didn't do it.
Yeah, I heard kind of like from kind of like the story I heard it was like
he cut somebody off.
He cut somebody off and he didn't know. The guy got mad.
He apologized too.
He even apologized. So the story goes, we don't know, but we're just assuming from assumptions that he apologized to the guy and he said sorry, and the guy like pulled out a knife.
And his girlfriend was the one who called the ambulance and authorities. To me, it's a really unfortunate situation.
Yeah.
I saw the cuts. They are graphic and brutal.
Mm-hmm.
I've gotten cut off. I cut off people while driving.
Would you stab anybody?
Wouldn't stab anybody. No. I don't have anything on me to even do that.
Where was this at? Where does he live?
Where does he live? I don't remember offhand.
Texas.
It was a mobile home that he was returning.
I was gonna say some down south trailer park.
To me, like, the funny thing is he has like a good job. Why the hell are you still living in like?
Oh yeah, I know, right?
Yeah. He's not like a millionaire probably, but he probably has enough money to at least buy a home.
Have a house.
You can upgrade to the condo, Jamie. Come on, man.
Yeah,
we're getting a double wide.
Yeah, seriously. But no, I heard that, like, and this kind of shows how tough the dude is. I heard, like,
he started beating him up.
I heard the ambulance couldn't come through because it was a crime scene or something like that, and his wife had to like drive him down the street in order for an ambulance to come to him. So he's like all stabbed up and he's like holding himself together until the ambulance could get there. So I mean that shows how tough the dude is.
It was like 3-on-1 they said, and he ended up ended up fighting like all three of them, and then the numbers.
Think about how tough he is.
Yeah.
He's not a really big dude.
Yeah, J&J.
Jamie Noble, I've always loved.
Yeah,
he's always been a good wrestler to me.
Fight with those dudes. Hey, and, Conor McGregor saying WWE guys aren't tough.
That's right.
Yeah, let him face three guys.
Yeah, Conor McGregor. Let me see you fight 3 guys and get stabbed.
After you got stabbed.
Yeah,
I mean, I think the good news is, if there's a shining light through this, is that he's okay.
Yeah.
I mean, the injuries will heal up in time. He's lucky he didn't get any other infections.
Those guys are lucky J&J weren't together at the time.
Yeah, and he's lucky he's not paralyzed because he got stabbed in the back.
Yeah, that could have been bad.
So, in all, from a bad situation, it wasn't all bad.
Yeah, that's true.
If you look at the shining parts of it.
Shining parts, yeah.
It wasn't all bad.
I mean,
what was the good part?
That he could walk and he doesn't have a staph infection.
He ain't died.
He didn't die. That is actually.
He's able to walk and resume life. Like,
Can you imagine?
If you get stabbed 3 times and you just get some stitches,
I would expect that. Yeah,
that's a good sign.
He got stabbed and he was just like holding it together like that. That's crazy.
He's a tough guy. I don't know if he's that tough.
That is crazy.
But he's a tough guy.
I mean, if you saw the pictures, did you see them?
No, I didn't.
I didn't see the pictures.
The pictures are brutal, man. It was just like, there's like 3 or 4 of them on the line, and you're just like, I just cringed like when I saw them.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So that does it for another edition.
Before we wrap up,
Use a gun.
Follow us on this page. Subscribe. Mm-hmm. Listen to us on SoundCloud. Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram at WrestlingIQ101. Leave a comment, leave a like, follow us, everything.
Definitely. Yep. And that does it for this edition of Wrestling IQ 101. Make sure you stay tuned for the next episode. See you guys later.